Life after independence. When the final echo of the Liberty Bell drifted into the warm July air of 1776, the American colonies stood breathless. Independence had been declared, loudly, boldly, and without a hint of regret. But as the cheers softened and the crowds returned to their homes, a new question rose quietly in every mind. What happens now? Young Samuel Harper, a printer from Philadelphia, had spent months producing pamphlets calling for freedom. He imagined independence as a shining road of certainty and glory, a path swept clean by victory. Yet, as the British flag was lowered and the new nation tried to steady itself, Samuel realized that freedom came with its own storms. The 13 colonies, now states, were like 13 siblings forced to live under one roof. Each had its own beliefs, habits, and tempers, and not all of them agreed on how this new nation should be run. Some wanted a strong central government, while others feared anything that felt too close to a king. Money was scarce, roads were rough, and enemies watched from every border, waiting to see if this bold experiment would fail. Across the land, life was a mix of celebration and worry. Farmers battled debts as old trade routes with Britain crumbled. Merchants struggled to reopen business under new rules. Black Americans, some free, many still enslaved, held quiet hopes that independence might someday include them too. Native nations watched with deep concern as settlers pushed further into their lands, unsure of what this freedom meant for them. Children in Boston memorized the Declaration of Independence as though it were a new scripture, while in Virginia, planters argued fiercely over taxes and trade. Every corner of the nation buzzed with debates about laws, borders, and the meaning of freedom itself. The first attempt at national government, the Articles of Confederation, proved fragile. Congress had little power, states argued over money and territory, and at moments it seemed as though the dream of unity might collapse before it even began. But America was stubborn. Leaders like George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and James Madison pushed for a stronger foundation, a constitution that could hold the young nation together without crushing its freedoms. In 1787, they gathered in a sweltering room in Philadelphia. Windows were shut, guards posted outside, and absolute secrecy was demanded. Within those walls, they debated fiercely, compromised reluctantly, and ultimately crafted a document that would reshape the world. When the Constitution was finally approved by the states, Samuel printed the news with trembling hands. Crowds gathered outside his shop to read the bold headline, "A More Perfect Union. The United States of America is Born." It wasn't perfect, and it wasn't peaceful, but it was a beginning. The nation now had a map, a compass, and a belief in its own future. Life after independence remained challenging. The new country stumbled, corrected itself, and stumbled again. Yet through every hardship, something powerful grew in the hearts of its people, a belief that their future was theirs to shape. Settlers moved westward seeking new opportunities. Inventors experimented with machines that would one day change the world. Families built towns that would grow into bustling cities. Immigrants crossed oceans chasing the same promise of freedom America had once fought for. Years passed, and Samuel Harper, now older and slower, stood once more outside his printing shop. Still printing, still hoping. He watched children run down the cobblestone street waving small flags, laughing as though the world had no shadows. With a gentle smile, he whispered to himself, "Independence was not the end. It was only the opening chapter." America was still learning, still growing, still striving. Freedom, Samuel realized, was not a destination but a journey, endless, challenging, and worth every sacrifice.